Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Sharon Svensson Hypnosis, and welcome to my series, The Joy Shot, Little Inoculations of Love. What's on my mind today is parenting. My son-in-law was asking me questions from raising my girls. And I think my biggest takeaway comes from my failures. Welcome to the human race, that I did the best that I could given my knowledge, wisdom, and abilities. And sometimes I came from a place of fear and anxiety because I cared so much. I wanted so much for my kids. But from that place, it's really not conducive for tapping into the clarity and the wisdom and my inner guidance. So that the best parenting tool as a grandparent, with my husband, with friends in my life, just really a relationship thing, to own my emotions and as best as I can, keep going back to that place of feeling good. So, for instance, I think of with my kids growing up, sometimes I would get into this place of, oh, I need them to behave because if they don't, maybe they won't be safe. And when it comes time to listening and they're in danger, they're not going to do it. Or maybe I came from a place of, oh, this is, they have to learn this, or what if they don't learn math and they end up being homeless because I didn't teach them the skills that they needed. Where when I went to this place of fear and anxiety, it's like the wisdom, the clarity completely went out the window. So that um again, this tool of self-hypnosis that I keep guiding us into again and again is a beautiful way for you to redirect to that place of centeredness and peace, where you have the clarity, where you have the wisdom, where you just have that knowing. I think of one of the clients I worked with where she went from a place of fear and anxiety about her son to a place of knowing. And um, it, if an outsider was looking in, they might say, well, she's being controlling. Like, for instance, when she would have these inspirations to do this activity with her son, and she would say, let's go do this. I think you're really, really going to love it. And he would have a bad attitude and kind of drag his feet, but she just had this knowing. And she just came from that place of positive expectations and clarity. And sure enough, he pretty soon got into the activity and had a beautiful time. But it's a different feeling when you're coming from a place of forcing and pushing, as opposed to that place of that bigger joyful vision. So for instance, I think of one moment in my older daughter when she was growing up where she was having a temper tantrum, and she was kind of completely out of control, flailing her arms, and I was able to go to a place of love. So going to, and when I say love, to emotions of softness, well-being, and knowing that this will pass, this is temporary, that it wasn't such a big deal. And so what I did is I ended up actually holding her, because with the flailing about, she uh we were in somebody else's home at the time. There's a potential for her to hurt herself as well as hurt other people. And so that felt right. So that would feel kind of controlling or forcing, but it felt like the right path. And then pretty soon she settled down and she came back into this centered and peaceful place. And oftentimes I just didn't really get that. For instance, I would say I am calm, but I wasn't. Or I would come from maybe what sounded like a loving and calm voice, but I hadn't come to that place of lining up with those feelings of well-being and peace. So I think the best tool that you can have is self-hypnosis to help you redirect to that place of centeredness and peace. One other thing that I really love to use is my hypnosis meditations, reminding myself of the bigger picture, the bigger vision. So, for instance, like with my grandkids, what do you want for them? Well, I want them to be able to think. I want them to be able to listen to their inner guidance and follow that. I want to be supportive and empowering and uplifting. So if I remember that, it's going to flavor how I interact with them. If I remember, oh, that's right. We want to have fun. We want to enjoy life. That life is to enjoy. Getting them ready for school will be a very different experience than if I'm coming from just a very focused state of they've got to get to school on time, that I have to get them to do this and to do that, instead of remembering the purpose of life is to enjoy it, that the joy is in the evolution and the becoming and the journey. And when I do remember that, then I get to be creative. So the parent can then become that leader that inspires and uplifts and that people want to join in on the fun. It's like, oh my gosh, well, how can we make getting ready fun? What can we do to enjoy this journey and experience? So let's end this with the self hypnosis technique. Take a beautiful deep breath. This is the first time you're joining in on the self hypnosis technique. Just start with a sigh. Do that again. Hopefully that in itself feels good. And let's add in the hypnosis. So do that sigh breath and imagine you feel your cells of your body opening. On the exhale, feel your shoulders dropping, relaxing. Just feel the sound of my voice guide you within to this beautiful, open, receptive state where you feel a sense of centeredness and peace. And you remember, oh, that's right. I want my children to have a joyful journey. I want to enjoy life and to be happy. That I want to bring the creativity and the playfulness and the fun, that I don't want to take things so seriously. Go ahead and take a nice, comfortable breath. And as you exhale, just feel everything let go, relax, release. Sometimes we'll just get caught up in thinking the goal is for my child to be the smartest, to learn the fastest, to get to the end of the race as quickly as possible. So I think about when my kids were taking swim lessons, that just remembering it's okay. It's okay for them to take their own time. It's okay for them to figure things out and find their way. And to know that from that place of just free to experiment, free from me pushing or forcing them, that I could find ways that were fun to engage and challenge. I think of just when I homeschooled, and when my youngest was, oh, I don't know, about 7 or 8, and I would get so frustrated that she was frustrated and angry because she didn't get this math stuff. And I totally lost track of the the reality of, oh my gosh, she's ahead of her age by far. I think she was doing like fourth, fifth grade math when she was in second and third grade. It's like I just got caught up in these fears and anxieties that we have to keep moving forward. And she could feel my frustration and my pushing against her, and she would push back. So again, it's like, well, notice where your child is at, how they're thriving and doing well in life. See their strengths and their abilities. I think of parents sharing how, oh my gosh, my son isn't doing this, or my daughter isn't doing that, or they're not good at this, or they're not good at that. It's like, well, yeah, how normal. Welcome to the human race, that they're humans. We don't have to be good at everything. We don't have to be the top of our class in order to enjoy life, to find enjoyable work, to enjoy our friends. So let's again take that beautiful, comfortable breath. As you exhale, just feel everything let go and relax and release. All right. Thank you for joining in with me until the next joy shot. Meanwhile, be sure to check out my other joy shots. Follow my Svensson Hypnosis YouTube channel. Keep checking back to see the latest or get notifications playlist in the other playlists, like what hypnosis is and what hypnosis isn't, or learn self hypnosis. Okay, blessings and love.